Red Bull has confirmed Isaac Hadjar for the 2026 season. It hasn't come as a shock inside the paddock or out. For months the writing was on the wall. Yuki was out. Hadjar's progression throughout this 2025 season has been extremely consistent, very well measured, and increasingly more impressive as the season went on. Every weekend he has shown a level of comfort and maturity well beyond a rookie status. He hasn't been perfect, but the fundamentals were there. The racecraft, adaptability, and calm approach that Red Bull expects when the pressure ramps up. With that being said, it leaves the obvious question. Has Red Bull made the right call, or have they made a knee-jerk reaction to the unconvincing performance of Yuki this year? Well, Aaron, tell me, what do you think?
What do I think?
What do you think?
What do I think? I think it is a knee-jerk reaction from Red Bull. I disagree with it on quite a fundamental level. This is ringing echoes of Red Bull mistake after Red Bull mistake from years, from Albon to Gasly to Lawson and to now Yuki. I just think we're going to see another similar thing with Isaac Hadjar. Obviously that doesn't sound like I'm putting a terrible amount of stock in his abilities. He's obviously an incredibly talented driver.
Oh, absolutely.
But I just don't trust Red Bull to be there, to foster him, to nurture him, to really bring him in to Formula One at a top team, because they haven't done it for anybody else other than Max for the entire rookie program that they've had. So I'm not convinced it's the right move yet. I think Isaac still has maybe another year or 2 years of development in him to get up to that top level. But then again, Red Bull know what they want. They obviously see something. We're all saying the same thing about Max Verstappen years ago, the crash Stappen, all this. Yeah. Everybody was kind of laughing at and memeing on him a bit. So different circumstances going in Red Bull, but I think it's the wrong decision. I don't think it's the right time yet. I think Yuki should stay there for another year. Obviously, with Honda going, probably contractually, they're obligated to let him go. But I still think they could have found another way to keep him on for another year and just let Isaac develop a little bit more. I think it's going to be an incredibly high pressure situation next year. I don't doubt he'll be able to deal with it. So, I don't know. I just think it's the wrong decision.
I mean, at this rate, Red Bull have a reputation for ruining rookies' careers. So they do. Anybody that comes into that team just seems to struggle. Do you know what I mean? And Perez had so much experience before he came into the team, and he was able to handle it for a few years. And then once they just lost direction with that car and they started to boil under pressure with these internal issues, they weren't listening to him, and they made a knee-jerk reaction and kicked him out.
Yeah.
His performance was slacking, but that's because they were ignoring all these internal problems and blaming it on Perez's performance.
And I think this is probably one of the cruxes of the issue here. Obviously, with Laurent Mekies coming in, that team's internal management structure has changed a lot.
It's a change of leadership.
So I can give them the benefit of the doubt going into 2026 that maybe, yes, they will have changed. You don't have Christian Horner there.
No.
I don't think Laurent Mekies is quite as cutthroat. Obviously, you still have Helmut Marko there, who is still very cutthroat. He is the man that runs the driver development program. So if he doesn't see something that he likes, I don't think he'll hesitate to get Isaac Hadjar out and then have Arvid Linblad come in from the Red Bull team to immediately take over again.
And do the same thing.
While I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I think I will, I still wouldn't be entirely surprised if we're having this same conversation maybe this time next year, or even maybe sort of halfway through 2027.
Yeah, and if it doesn't go well for Hadjar whenever he's in Red Bull and there's not a seat available for him,
where does he go?
You've just kicked another good driver out of F1. It's just same thing again and again,
And I really do like Isaac, and I think he is going to be world championship material. He has that raw speed. He has that seemingly cool head. Obviously, he hasn't had any really, really, really high pressure situations.
We say cool head. He did start crying after he binned it on the formation lap in Australia.
He did. But then again,
do you know what I mean?
Think of the emotions. Whenever you come into motorsport and you're like, I've finally got the Formula One. I really want to make a good impression. And the first thing you do is bin it in the first lap. Of course, those emotions are going to boil over.
The emotions were high, but I suppose over the course of the season, he has developed a bit of thicker skin.
He has.
And a lot more maturity. So It'll be interesting to see how he performs at a top team. Doing it this soon, I'm not too sure. But again, we also said the same thing about Kimi going into Mercedes. Is it too early? Does he need time to develop at Williams? And he seemed able to find it well. And I just want to make a point that going into 2026, Laura Mackey's new team principal, new leadership, 2026, new car, completely new platform, new regulations. We're completely changing what's going on in F1. And I feel like if Red Bull can find a way to not carry those problems that they've been having in these previous seasons into 26 and start with a fresh slate, I think it could work well for Hadjar. But at the end of the day, you always do feel bad for anybody losing their seat, especially Yuki.
You do, because Yuki's a good driver. Yuki has been very good, I think, all in all, with Red Bull. You know, it was always going to be an impossible task to fill in that Red Bull seat. Max just knows the car better than anybody. And Yuki, going into that, I almost think he was damned going into that situation. I don't know what I was expecting of Yuki whenever Yuki went into that seat, but to do what he's done, I think he's done okay. I don't think anybody would have done any better or any worse.
No.
Really. So I think, obviously, while I think the reason that Yuki's been left out is probably contractual, I don't think he was booted purely for performance.
No, and like at the end of the day, he's been a reliable asset for Red Bull. He's not going out there and crashing the car and spinning off and creating more problems that Red Bull don't need. He's getting into the car, he's doing his qualifying, and he's finishing his race, and he's extracting, I suppose, as much performance as you could get out of that car when you're not Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
So, like, personally, from my eyes, I don't see that he's done anything wrong in that car, especially from switching teams mid-season. You didn't know that was going to happen. He's came in and filled a role. He's done better than the person that was in it before him, and you can't blame him. And at the end of the day, it might just be down to the fact that this Honda partnership is over and there's no real incentive to have Yuki there anymore. And Hadjar has we know Hadjar has a higher ceiling than Yuki because Yuki has been in F1 for so long now. Yeah. And I think we've seen the best that we're going to get out of him. Maybe we haven't seen him in the best car he could be in. You know, that 2026 Red Bull could be quicker than this year's car. So we don't necessarily know how he perform in a top car that works well for both drivers. But at the end of the day, Hadjar's got a good performance ceiling. He's getting into a top team. He's got a year under his belt now. There's a lot of change going on at Red Bull. And I think it might be a different situation to what we've seen before. Do you know?
Yeah, I agree. I think it could be different. It could be different. I hope it's different.
I hope it's different.
But it'll be interesting to see how Linblad takes up the RB thing.
Yes.
This is another big litmus test, I think, for Lawson.
Yeah, going up against a fresh rookie.
Another one.
I don't think they're fully convinced on his performance.
He has to beat him.
He has to. Yeah.
Just go in and do better because he's not done that great this year. Once he that obviously massive confidence knock by being kicked out of Red Bull so early in the season. But he hasn't really done a lot to bring himself back into the flow of things.
And that's happened and it's forgot about. The seat's been filled. We've moved on. Your seat was secure for the rest of the year. Obviously a couple races after it's still fresh and you're going to be thinking about it. But once you get down into the new team, you should be forgetting about that and moving on and seeing where you can go forward. So if he's carrying that weight that Red Bull gave him at the start of the season, it's not going to help his performance going into next year, especially going up with a rookie. If he's going to put more pressure on himself, being like, I know you're going up against a rookie and it's like, oh, this is easy, but you have to perform. So anytime you crash, anytime you DNF, that's a loss of points for your rookie teammate to get.
Even if they just qualify, or even if they finish one place up the road,
it never looks good.
No, it never looks good. And I say it doesn't matter what the reason for it is. You know, it could be out of puncture, or just the car wasn't dialed in, or this, or I got stuck behind a safety car, or I didn't call the right strategy. At the end of the day, you're still lower on the pecking order. You're finishing behind them.
You're going to be scrutinised so much harder.
But I think he's going to be scrutinised less now that this new Red Bull leadership.
Hadjar?
Yeah.
Hadjar.
I think Helmut Marko, he's still there doing his thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's scrutinised him as much as he probably once was. It does feel like the whole Red Bull camp has cooled a little bit.
So you think if Hadjar doesn't perform the way he was, maybe not as well as Max in the next season, you think he's a little bit safer? He's got sort of that buffer to get another year under his belt to see how he performs and how Adfred's sort of career develops.
I think that's the same with Lawson as well. I think Lawson's ultimate analysis from the upper management at Red Bull is going to be less strict as it probably would have been a few years ago. So I think even if he does get outperformed by Linblad, he's probably more safe than he would have been if he was in that team 3 or 4
RB
years
has
ago.
got a cooler head than Red Bull.
That whole Red Bull organization seems to have kind of cooled a little bit. So
yeah,
but it's interesting.
It's
news.
interesting to see. That means we've got a rookie on the grid for 2026.
Yeah, it's honestly good to see more people coming in. It's nice. It's nice,
and it's good to see good talent.
Yeah,
we got 6 rookies last year. Me and you were talking about it, calling it silly season. Like everybody was. It was like 6 rookies. That's going to be pure pandemonium. But
they were brilliant.
All 6 rookies have been really, really good. It's so refreshing to see after having all those such bad drivers just filling these spaces. And, you know, the Latifis, the Mazepins, the Sargents, you know. So it's nice to see. And it's a cool prospect, I think, to get to see a rookie in a 2026 car as well.
Oh, yeah.
New driver, new regulations. It's probably the best way you could start your F1 career.
100%.
You're not having to worry about driving a ground effect car 1 year and then changing regulations, because at the end of the day, it might actually be a little bit harder for this year's rookies to get used to adapt to next year's cars. So you might actually find them struggling the first few races, you know?
You might actually see that. That's not completely out of the question.
No, so it's also a thing to sort of take into consideration whenever we're watching Hadjar's performance at the start of the year next year as well. I think it's don't jump the gun if he maybe gets 11th or 10th for his first race. I think it's like let him sort of feel like the car a little bit, see how they're driving, and then we can sort of assess his performance.
Thing is, I think there was a lot of talk about these 2026 cars feeling more like an F2 car. So the rookies of this year might actually gel with that a little bit better.
But at the end of the day, they're so much faster.
That is true.
You know what I mean?
That is true. But if it's the handling characteristics...
It's a completely different platform. But those cars could handle differently from 100 mile an hour to 200 mile an hour. So you never know. It's a challenge for everybody next year to drive these cars, and it'll be interesting to see.
But it's finally good to have I think this is finally the grid now is set for 2026.
I think everybody's got a seat. And that makes our third rookie, because we've got a guy called Perez, I think, and a guy called Bottas coming into the sport next year.
Completely forgot about those guys.
Driving for Cadillac.
Yeah,
so
2 rookies in the Cadillac.
two rookies in the Cadillac, and now we've got Alfred.
Aston Martin with the Spanish rookie.
Yes, Fernando Alonso. That's right.
So actually got 4 rookies.
4 rookies on the grid.
4 rookies going to 2026. That's going to be crazy.
That's going to be crazy. But yeah, we just wanted to come on and break this news early for you guys to let everybody know, and
give our opinions on it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the news. Yuki Tsunoda out, Isaac Hadjar and Linblad in. While it is slightly bittersweet to see Yuki going, it is also nice to see talent getting moved up and sort of shuffled about and given that opportunity. It's nice.
It's nice to see. It's nice to see. Sorry, it's nice to see drivers that have clearly got good pace go places. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's nice to see. So.
But yeah, I think that'll cover it for today. Mm-hmm. That's the news. Isaac Hadjar in, Yuki out.
And thank you very much, everybody. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.